Alongside Ingmar Klingbanik, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. The winner of this game clinches a spot in the top 5, or they'll at least have a chance to play for 5th place, meaning they cannot drop below the 6th spot against the loser or the winner of Germany versus Czechia, but they'll clinch a spot in Japan in 2 years. The loser will need one more win. They'll play in the do-or-die game on Saturday afternoon for 7th against the loser of later Czechia and Germany meeting up. So Ingmar Klingbanik, massive game here, an opportunity to make things much easier for themselves in the winner of this game.
Definitely, I think this is already kind of the last, you can also perceive it as the last game of the tournament. If they win this, they're going to Japan, all to win for. So I think they'll be happier winning this game than the next game.
Face-off win by Vinny Facciapanti, who certainly is in the mix to be the top face-off man of this tournament, and he'll have to be. Over on the other end, in goal, making the start is Chris Doctors. His first start for Latvia, first full start that he'll play. The starting goalie for the Latvians, the tremendous Ryan Richters, will be out. He'll miss the next 2 games after being carded and thrown out of yesterday's game late against Israel in the quarterfinal matchup in the 6-3 game, a 10-3 loss by the Latvians. So things radically different, arguably without the tournament's best goalie. And we'll talk about that as we go. As here is Eli Lasda slipping down. It's still drizzling. Kata Kristoff shoved the cross out of the mix. You're not allowed to do that, Ingmar, I think, at any level. He used his stick to throw Lasda's stick out of the way, then picked the ball up.
Yeah, so I think the ball was already out of the stick, and then he made the choice to still rake it out that stick, and that's not allowed, and that's an illegal procedure for the French defender.
So the Latvians with possession, with Pence Aistrat starting at the midfield. In goal is Joe Varela, 30-year-old veteran of the French, and it's turned over by the Latvians. Defensively for France, Danny Grattan, Kata Kristoff, and Jack Snyder. And the long pomidi, the top long pomidi is Matt Hill. So Varela will start to clear. France yesterday trailed 8-0 against England and had a much more, or maybe 9-0 at the half. Played a more competitive second half, lost the game 18-4, resting some guys late. But head coach Dylan Snyder was happy the way his guys responded and showed some fight. For France on offense, they're led by Justin Rosenberg, wearing 0, Gabriel Fury, and Emil Sasson-Lawless. Then the attack of Lucas Menendez, James Barlow, and Lucas Geller. So in goal, Chris Doctors. He played the first half against Bulgaria as his lone appearance, so he made a start there. There is Menendez. Great pass by Barlow. The pass was very tight to the cage. 1-0 France.
Definitely, and that's an excellent finish by Menendez there. He can find, he gets the pass from Barlow on the back side, and then a very crafty finish behind the back. And it's already, I would say, already a highlight goal at the start.
So for the Latvians, in talking to the head coach, Hofstra University product, and Andris Dikmanis, certainly things got out of hand in the second half yesterday against Israel. It was a tight game. They played competitively, and the game slipped, and the intensity rose, and that's what led to the Richter's late ejection. Latvia was also playing at 11:30 a.m. game in the morning after finishing the night before at about 9. They had one of the 2 lightning delay games. Their game against Scotland that went 6-4, they had about an hour and a half delay in the third quarter of that one. Face-off win by Facciapanti. And swung back here, brought down by Eli Lasda. And he'll control out to Facciapanti, who plays a lot of offense. He is the face-off man in this tournament that plays the most offense.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see. Most teams have just a designated face-off player, but he definitely plays both ways. But not only face-off, but also offense and defense. So very interesting.
Flag is out, and now a second flag might be coming out as Andrew Doctor. He made his move against the defense of France. Let's see if we get 2 separate flags against the French. That attack of the Latvians, James Mowens with P.T. Tierney in midfield, and Pence Eistrat. The attack of Austin Bloombergs, Eli Lasda, and Andrew Doctor. Our officials relaying the signals, as is the international style. We have there were two flags. One, I think, was for interference. I don't know what it was. Then the second one came out after.
Yeah, but I see 6 players for France, 6 field players, and of course a goalie. So there's no penalty on France.
Yeah,
I don't see anyone in the box.
You don't often see the officials pick up 2 flags after consulting one another. So here we go with the drive from Gins Gudmanis. And for the Latvians, the hope from Andres Dikmanis. Great ball possession. They certainly have a great advantage, having Fachapanti to do that, and perhaps to try to at least allow their new goalie in Chris Doctors to settle in. They may be a touch more patient on attack today. And we'll see as the skip pass comes. Lasda, here comes Christoph. And Kater Christoph will fight him off. Christoph, congratulations to him, a married man now in May, psychology professor at McGill University in Toronto. And the psychology was fear there into Eli Lasda on that closeout.
It's excellent ball movement from Latvia. They're really patient on that offense. And even though the ball gets knocked out of the stick, it's still a ground ball there.
Eli Lasda battles, and it will stay with Latvia. Eli's brother Riley, the two of them playing together 2 years at the University of Albany. He is a team manager for the Latvians after suffering an Achilles injury very close to the start of the tournament. He's a high school coach down at Brentwood High School in Southern California. And now the rest of his family has shown up. Gretchen Lasda and Rachel Lasda, they're the head coach and assistant coaches for the Latvian women's team, who has a sixes team represented over on the other field. They'll be coming over here. So a full reunion and the first family of Latvian lacrosse. This one knocked away and pushed by Lester Salmons, one of the leaders and co-founders of the French Lacrosse Association, on the pickup. And coming over, the handle from Harrison Nye, and Latvia all the possession here. A 1-0 lead, though, by France on a Menendez goal.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising. We haven't seen the French offense that often now in this game, but long possessions by Latvian that's really trying to wear out this French defense, but haven't really gotten an A-level shot yet.
Here's Cam Conradi, playing in only his 3rd game. He arrived later to the tournament, and they'll rely on his fresh legs today and tomorrow. And a bounce shot taken with the offhand there by Andrew Doctor. And the backup still with Latvia. And they'll work the ball here near the midway stage of the full opening quarter already.
Yeah, this is really the matchup Mowens actually wants against that shorty. Again with the ball. Again with the shorty matchup. Oh, that's a good shot.
Mowens taking the look, trying to stay low to low. And Latvia comfortably able to here to handle offense. P.T. Tierney. Andrew Doctor from Rochester, New York. He majored in engineering. As Doctor takes it across, and somehow the ball goes in. Wait a second, we have whistles everywhere. And a timeout is granted to France. Ingemar, let's see what happened here.
Wow.
He actually took the bouncer, and while he was in trouble, the bench from Latvia called the timeout. There is no goal. It's Latvia ball.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed by that call. Yeah, as a coach, you're really anticipating on what's going to happen. So you can't, of course, you can't see what's going to happen. You're just anticipating here on, him losing the ball. He was falling down. He had a couple of guys on him. Didn't really have a clear shot. So you know, of course you know you're disappointed as a player, but you can't really take it out on the coach because that's a good that's a good call. You know, with only 7 minutes left and you're trailing by one. You know, I think it's a good call by the coach, by the Latvian coach, and yeah, just unfortunate for doctors.
So 1-0 still against the Latvians as they come out of the timeout and continue their patient sets. A light drizzle continues to fall here in Wroclaw, Poland, southwest Poland, very close to both the German and Czech borders. 7:22 showing during that timeout. And back in cage is Joe Varela. And for France, they had to make a decision during yesterday's England game, trying to maybe rest some legs as they played their first quarterfinal in the 7-versus-2 matchup. France, the 7, they got past 10-seeded Switzerland in the game before that 2 days ago, only by a goal, 8-7. Now here the throwback by Cam Conradi is out of bounds. Well, we saw passes sail on players whenever it's rained here. Ingmar, what's the way to prevent that or limit that? Here's another one that gets away.
I think making the passes a little bit shorter than you're used to. Of course, with this rain, it also affects your stick, but it also affects your footing because we've already seen a couple of players slip and lose their footing. Oh, great shot actually by Doctors. Out of nowhere, that shot.
Andrew Doctor from the angle, and the pickup here by Eistrat.
Yeah, and just coming back about that field conditions, we've seen a couple of players losing their footing, slipping, and especially with this rain and this field, it can be tricky, not only for your stick with the rain, but also with this field.
Latvia continues the possession. They've hit a pipe. They've also had a goal taken away due to the timeout being called at the exact same moment. Andrew Doctor. The Doctor family with now his brother Chris in goal. Their father, Ron, an All-American at Syracuse in the early 70s. And uncle also played at Syracuse. Two other uncles played at Army and Cornell. Moen, but with Latvian lineage. Facciapati, what a matchup here against Rosenberg. The top athletes in this tournament. And Facciapati was able to work his way to a good shot with his offhand. Eistrat again.
Almost hits the ref there.
As he sails this, it is a man-to-man defensive look for France. Team defense has been the area that France has felt they've grown the most and had the most room for growth over the course of this tournament. Young Jack Snyder. Moen. And Facciapati will swing back. Fired over the top. Eistrat! Eistrat finally gets Latvia started from deep range. It's 1-1.
Yeah, that's an excellent time and room shot. He gets the feed from Laza, I think. And no, it's actually Doctors who gets the feed. And top corner, great shot by Eistrat. You could really see the patience by the Latvian offense. Really wanted to wait on that perfect shot.
Latvia's been waiting over 10 minutes for that goal. Facciapati, second, make it the third face-off of the game. He wins that one again cleanly from Adrien Prefontaine. And what will the answer be for France and the face-off X? So far, no one's really been able to come up with one against Facciapati, who's been able to push just enough offense. Both he and Angelo Venuto of Italy have been facing off at an incredibly high number. And then Venuto also scoring offense. Venuto is probably 90% in this tournament. That's not an exaggeration. Facciapati squeezes his way through, and his bouncer is handled by Varela. Facciapati, like he was trying to work his way through two closing subway doors.
Yeah, it's almost like he's in a wrestling match today. He wrestles him through those defenders, and of course, he's used to the face-off, getting a lot of pressure, and he just gets in on that mid section of the field.
Transition chance for France And the French, with just their second possession of the game, will hit the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. But that's what Facciapati has done to everybody.
Yeah, you can really see Barlow there signaling to his teammates, slow it down, take some time. Let's also give the defense a little bit of rest. It's not only an opportunity for the offense, but it's also a defensive opportunity to get some rest, get your breathing back to a little bit normal, because they've been playing a lot of defense here, France already.
So Chris Doctor making the start in goal, longtime Division I college coach. Most recently at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut. Has been a high school coach too. 7 years at Penn State as a face-off guy, coach, as it's turned over by France.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just saying about those wet sticks, and you can see the passing is a little off on both of these teams. You know, these field conditions and this weather is just making those sticks wet and a little bit deeper than they're used to.
Rosenberg, he'll come up with a clear.
Yeah, he's been quiet today. Of course, they didn't have that much possession, but along this tournament went on, he was really one of the key players for their offense, Rosenberg.
Chris Doctor in goal. Beg your pardon, I had a different Chris Doctor. This one also from upstate New York. Chris playing at Division III Alfred in Rochester, finishing his career in 2018. Menendez over the top, room for Sasson Lawless. And the first save made by Chris Doctor. Out of cage is Doctor, puts a shoulder into a player, and then is able to save it to a teammate in Harrison Nye. Nye then slipping down, and there's another example of this turf. Another player falling down.
Both sides of the field are falling down, and you can really see it's slippery. And you really have to choose your shoes correctly.
Justin Rosenberg, we'll see if this slick turf will slow him down. Gets Saul Katens, a D-mid. Left out wide for Sasson Lawless. Menendez chases. And the ball is going to be pointed over to Latvia. Final half minute of the first. Latvia spent a lot of time on the ball. Been held to a goal. Gutmanis. Steered for Conradi. Conradi goes to the jump shot. No bouncer there. Cam Conradi of Dallas, Texas makes it 2-1 Latvia.
Yeah, he got time and room there. Again, top corner goal, but I think one of the French defenders was also a little bit in the way, blocking the view of Varela. And I think that's why he saw the ball a little late there and wasn't able to get his stick to the ball.
13 seconds to play, first quarter. Fresh legs of Cam Conradi to be able to run the field. Had a very good freshman year, playing as one of the top 3 to 4 short stick D-middies for St. John's University in Queens. For former Duke All-American Justin Turry. Facciapati, time to go here with 5. Using the shoulder, then getting up. Facciapati determined, and Varela makes the save. And a 1-minute slash against France with 1 second remaining in the first quarter. So Latvia is going to open up the second with 59 seconds and a man up due to Facciapati's relentlessness. 2-1 Latvia. 6th-seeded Latvia over 7th-seeded France. The winner will play for 5th place tomorrow against the winner of the Germany-Czechia game, and also will clinch a spot in the 2027 World Lacrosse Championship in Japan. We take time out on World Lacrosse TV and Lax TV. And we start the second quarter. Latvia with a 2-1 lead, and they have 59 seconds to work with. No face-off to open up the quarter with a man up. And a chance to talk about it. They look for the step down. Austin Bloombergs with his first shot of the game is wide. So Latvians have settled in. Doctor gave it up. Bloombergs. Moen with the rip. So two initial perimeter looks.
Yeah, those were really good time and room shots. I think they had time as well there. Good look. They're really trying to find that skip pass and try to surprise Varela there on the outside.
Lasda starts movement. Lasda then looked over the top. Then they go to the jump shot. Facciapanti as they continue to wheel. Then they challenge the short side of Varela. 3 shots on this 1-minute man up that still has some time on it.
Yeah, really impressive to see Facciapanti also playing here the man up. So he's kind of doing it all. Really the Swiss Army knife here for Latvia.
I'm looking forward to asking him how he's feeling sometime Saturday. Moen. There are some real Iron Men in this tournament. That could be another award that maybe we discuss, at least unofficially.
Definitely.
Among broadcasters and observers of the tournament. Facciapanti took another jab. We are all even. Here's Pet Eistrat from Canada, 2-time honorable mention All-American in his collegiate career, but a first-generation Latvian. Eistrat starred at Rochester Institute of Technology that is well represented here in this tournament across various teams. Finished up his career in 2022. Skip. Andrew Doctor. Speaking of RIT, Skip Moen shakes through. Here comes Kata Kristoff again to remind him he is still playing defense. And Latvia continuing to show patience.
Yeah, this is really a long possession by Latvia and really wears the French defense out. And you can see here, with the ski. Oh, that's a good look.
Moen located the cutting Eistrat. And after wearing down France over the course of 2.5 minutes, a man up that stayed with the possession. Latvia cashes in again, 3-1.
Yeah, this is actually what they were looking for. One of the defenders maybe gets a little tired, lets their guy slip right from the backside, and it was an excellent finish also on the crease. But this is what they were trying to do all the way along Latvia, just keeping that possession and then waiting for someone to get open.
Facciapanti, clean win again, this time against Remy Giacoto. Rinse and repeat, off for Bloombergs. France, I'd say by my count, Ingmar, I think only had 2 true possessions in the first quarter.
Yeah. So as a France head coach, you really have to do something about this. I mean, it was really hard for every team so far to stop Facciapanti. But if you have the ball, you really have to take really, really good care of it, because otherwise you're not going to see the ball often.
Camrati nearly lost his footing, but was able to regroup, and the shot is wide. Lasda was hoping to get a bruising pick from Moen. And now Lasda to try to dodge against Rosenberg. But he thinks better of it.
Oh.
And a crease violation against Latvia while having possession.
That's very unfortunate, but I think France will take it. I mean, this is an excellent chance.
And Rosenberg to the jump shot instantly makes Latvia pay. He slips and falls on his back, but Justin Rosenberg is open. He goes to the air to finish. It's 3-2.
Yeah, a little bit of unsettled action there, and even the camera had a hard time following that, but it was excellent run right down the lane, right to the center, not really getting picked up by any of the Latvian defenders. I think they were also a little surprised there, and he takes the jump shot, and excellent finish, bouncer. like I said before, as the French team, you now really want to take care of that ball. But if you have an opportunity like this, yeah, you're just going to shoot it.
Vachapati trains his way through. Shot was off target. Varela defending. Latvia having backup again. So the recipe for success is here for Latvia, missing their starting goalie, the tremendous Ryan Richters. If there was a first-team all-tournament vote, or at least all-European championship team, he would get a lot of votes to be the best goalie here. That's a shot on the move taken by P.T. Tierney and at the feet of Varela. And he was ejected at the end of the game yesterday against Israel, which was a 10-3 loss by the Latvians. He will miss both games, this one and tomorrow's, or it could be Saturday's, if with a loss for the Latvians, 7th place, or playing tomorrow for 5th. So now the onus is on the starter here, and Chris Doctor, the brother of Andrew Doctor, timeout taken here by France. Andres Dickmanis telling me even about a half hour before the game, truly a game-time decision who would start. They're not sure if that necessarily means they would do a split with he and the other goalie and Daniel Luke, or go full game. Richters has been their guy. That's been no doubt about it. But so far, Latvia has not made that matter to this point with Vachapati in the offense.
Yeah, definitely. This is really going to be interesting to see, how are these backup goalies, because that's what they are, how are they going to perform and how are they going to take that pressure, because there's no plan B if either one doesn't perform. And of course, with the heavy, great performance by Richters before, big shoes to fill.
And now for France to talk it over, they have the timeout with 8:45 left and try to find themselves some sort of a rhythm if possessions are going to be limited. And what can Coach Dylan Snyder do whenever they have the ball? But he was proud of his team in terms of how they competed yesterday in the second half in a game that was out of reach against England. But he had some other guys step up and play the entirety of his roster. They also get Gabriel Fury back after Fury has been playing at a tender ankle. They decided to sit him out in the second half yesterday, just as a precaution. Lose the battle thinking about winning the war, and well said, he was shaken up against Switzerland in that 7-10 game. We had 4 goals and an assist. It was 8-7 France. As the Swiss, I think, have been a pleasant surprise to observers here by how well they have played. I think they were a great unknown, the Swiss. And
Definitely.
they really pushed France to the brink. Barlow, room and time as he slips as he tried to set his feet on that step down. Got the feed from Paul Lefebvre, who's getting some offensive time for France. Well, check that rather. That's 26, Lucas Geller, beg your pardon. Fired over for Menendez, and a flag is out. A slash is going to be called on Latvia. They're going to send off Bryce Donofskis. No doubt about it. Donofskis tried to lob the official and still shaken up is Emil Sasson-Lawless, who is feeling that on his right knee.
Definitely. You see him limping a little bit. He's good enough to keep playing in this man up by France.
And in a significant one for the French. They may get outpossessed and outfaced off by a big number today. They need to cash these in. Fury, and drops the pass to disrupt the momentum. Skip across Menendez.
Good take there. He had time and he had room. And great skip pass by Fury.
And the defender coming out. That was Pent Eistrat playing with a pole. Man down. Menendez. Thinks of one more. Skip across. Rosenberg gears up the hands. Oh, that one stayed out. The net shook. We did not hear the pipe. I don't know what that hit. Looking behind him was Chris Doctor. And the ball is out, going the other way.
Yeah, that's going to be something worth to review, or for us at least, maybe get a.
I mean, everybody from France is pointing that was a goal. Now, the way the ball softly bounced out, Ingmar, you're a lacrosse player, that's
Yeah.
indicating to me the ball was in the goal, and we did not hear pipe. Let's have a look by our great crew here. As they wheel this around, it'll end up with 0 at the top 2 passes later.
Yeah, and normally if you hear that ding sound, that's definitely a pipe. But let's see. Oh. Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean,
I couldn't tell. What did your eyes tell you?
Well, it went top corner, but it might have looked like a goal to me, actually. But yeah, I wasn't close. I was not one of the officials, so I don't want to take their spot. But yeah, it looked like a goal. And I think also if you look at the reactions from France, I mean, they were all very sure that it was a goal. So you're not going to do that unless you're 100% sure, I guess.
The officials are huddling here at midfield. The score remains 3-2. There is no video review in this European Championship. See if our officials give any signal.
I think it's just going to be a restart here for Latvia.
It's just
so,
Latvia possession. Yeah. However, based on that and the lack of sound, Ingmar, my gut tells me that ball was in the goal.
Yes, I think so too. I definitely think that was a goal.
And plus, a pipe rebound would come so far from an angle. Well, this is definitely a goal, and Latvia capitalizes on great fortune. Gutmanis makes it a 2-goal game.
Yeah, this is extra harsh. I think for France. I mean, they feel like they just got denied a goal and now get the goal again. So it's kind of double unlucky in a row for France. So that's really tough. A tough pill to swallow for them right now.
Gutmanis went to his own jump shot. It's 4-2. It was strange because while France maybe half celebrated the goal, they were also not sure either. I didn't quite see if Justin Rosenberg, who probably would be the first guy that would definitely know if it was in. And there is another rip. Bloombergs from Fatchapanti converting the face-off win. 5-2 Latvia.
Yeah, this is. It looks like France is a little rattled by that situation before, getting denied the goal, and now two goals against in a row. Feels like they're a little off, a little shaken, and yeah, let's see if they can bounce back from this setback.
We'll hit the 5-minute mark of the second quarter, and significant separation for Latvia when you take into account the face-off dominance that Vinny Fatchapanti has displayed in this tournament. His mom is first-generation Latvian living in the U.S. from Maryland. She is here watching her son play and not leave the field. So he's getting his money's worth.
Definitely.
As he drops it off, and just as I say that, it appears he is being summoned to the bench.
Oh.
Or maybe not. No, it's fake cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
Eichstraat, defender backing off. And Eichstraat misses the shot.
Yeah, it was a IQ play there from Fatchapanti, who just, I don't think the slip was part of the plan, but he slips and gets back on offense while his defender subs off and almost has an odd man situation there.
Now Camrati, after a breather, and Camrati steps in and sticks his second shot. Well, his feet are feeling comfortable on this wet turf. 6-2 Latvia.
Yeah. And the switch to his left hand is not even that fast. I mean, you can also see he has a little bit of trouble to setting his feet, but it's enough because the defender from France also has a little bit of trouble setting his feet, and then he just gets his hand free, top corner goal. Very, very well placed.
Three straight since the disputed or unclear non-goal by France. Fatchapanti wins the face-off this time from long pole meeting Matt Hill. So France has now tried 3 different face-off guys, Prefontaine and Giacoto as expected. And then the Pole giving it a shot.
Yeah, and this momentum is huge for Latvia, especially since we're approaching the halftime break, and just getting a couple of goals in a row is mentally just very, very, very big momentum here for them.
Latvia came out and followed the game plan of very patient possessions. Now they've opened it up and look like getting even more aggressive. Chris Doctor in goal, facing his first significant competition of this tournament with the suspension of Richter's. Has gotten a little comfortable. 6-2 Latvia, looking for more. Moen this time against Didier Fardine. Didier with a long way back from a torn patella 3 years ago in Poland here in Wroclaw for the European qualifiers. Also a torn Achilles. Serious injuries for a position at short stick D-midi that requires athleticism. Turning and shooting Doctor, but that was within the stall warning being put on. So France looking for a clear and one final possession.
France now really looks to get back in this game. I think it would be huge for them if they can get a goal here just before halftime to get a little bit more of a feeling they're back in this game. Of course, they still be trailing, but just get a goal, get a good momentum going on, especially for that second half.
Geller. Menendez skips Fury, and Fury, his stick has just not been comfortable for him. A couple of drops. But Gabriel Fury, one of the top midfielders when healthy in this tournament, as he tries to crash towards the crease and ends up turning it over to Chris Doctor, who fires it beautifully down the middle for James Moen. Moen will stop with 40 seconds, then take the shot. Well, the flow replaced James Moen. He's got 1 and 1.5. Latvia separating at 7-2.
Yeah, and I think everybody, even the French defense and maybe even his teammates, thought he was going to take it slow, maybe take it out, really want to wait for that last shot before the halftime. And then, yeah, he just gets his hand free, and it's kind of it kind of skips on the field. It's almost like, a pebble you sometimes throw on water, and it just kind of pebbles it away into the goal.
Tremendous from James Moen, be able to stop and wait. Final 20 seconds for a high schooler that's going into his senior year. Gabriel Fury wins the face-off. Timeout will be taken by France. 16 seconds left. It could be significant, just as we said, the last possession for the French to get anything here before the half and to think about how they can figure out possessions. James Moen from Wilmington, Delaware, is a travel lacrosse player and certainly well on the path towards playing collegiate lacrosse and representing Latvia for many, many years. But he's the young guy on the offense, the youngest guy on the Latvian team, but has been playing first midfield the whole time. Here's where I'm starting to notice, Ingmar, the younger legs where the teenagers are the ones that are actually holding up the best. They don't have the same kind of soft tissue injuries that some of the older guys, not old, but older guys have had.
Yeah, you're putting it nicely. Older, not old, but yeah, definitely you can see, they're still young, and it's been such a wear and tear after some of these teams have like 6-7 games in a row, and you can really see, we're almost at the end of the tournament, and especially the young guys, with the stamina and the younger bodies, they are thriving now.
"16 seconds for France. Rosenberg will, no question about it, it will be nearly impossible that he will likely not be involved in this play. They'll start with Sassone Lawless and Rosenberg to initiate. Harrison Nye drawing that assignment. Rosenberg with 8. Nye gives him a jab. Rosenberg trying to use the speed. He's cut off there with 4 seconds. Off to Fury, feed in front, and a late flag comes out for the French. Well, they get Bryce Donofskis again. He applied the hit late on James Barlow. Time is going to run out. They might add a second, but France will have the benefit of no face-off to open up the third quarter and a man up.
Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really, really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick. Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse. We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
We welcome you to the start of the third quarter. Second half action begins with a man up for France and a shot by Justin Rosenberg instantly wide of Chris Doctor. And a goal for the Latvians, 7-2 Latvia. A significant man up for France. They had time to talk about it. They have the full 1 minute since it occurred. The foul occurred at the first half buzzer against Latvia. Menendez, and a bouncer goes. Still time left. We'll see. Does France take a timeout here? 7-3. And Dylan Snyder does not. You can understand still too early.
Yeah, that's actually a great time and room shot coming off that, coming off that man up right away, and they convert quickly. I don't think they're taking a timeout here, so they're just gonna run out the penalty, and then you see also Facciponti taking his time because I think he'll hope that the penalty will expire just in time. But there's gonna be a man up face here for France.
Rosenberg uncontested near side. And even the 3-on-2 does not go in the favor of France. Facciponti wins another. But Menendez gets France closer at 7-3 with a man-up goal. With this being a running clock, a consistent strategy that's been employed by coaches. When you score a goal early in like a 1 minute man-up or a non-releasable, you call a timeout to preserve the man-up time, which still keeps going.
Yes, it must have been a 2 minute penalty because we're already, we're almost at the 13-minute mark. So
Lasda, shovel shot. Save made off the stick by Varela. Yes, you're right, Ingmar. If that is a 2 minute foul, that could have been an opportunity for France to call the timeout. But then they'd have to worry about winning the faceoff against Facciponti and use one very early in the third. So now we're all even. The foul on Bryce Donovskis has come to an end. Pent Eistrat. This pass fumbled around by Gutmanis. And Gutmanis is written out of bounds, and that's going to be the way France could try to get the ball.
and actually hits.
It's one of the coaches of France that fall down.
That's France assistant coach Karl Hofstadter. And I hope he's okay. He's a former player for the Dutch national team, also a coach for their U20, and now French assistant coach on offense.
Thought for a second they would also be calling a timeout to Latvia, but none was granted either. So France with the possession, able to turn over the Latvians. Sasson Lawless will wait for Geller. Rosenberg. Then the slide comes, the latest D-Midi. It is Eistrat. Rosenberg on the back down will give for Fury. Fires it in. Menendez, low shot off the stick of Doctor. Closest to it, both Menendez and Geller of France. So they get a decent look.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good shot. Just missed some direction. And a good thing for France, they had to back up.
Now Barlow shooting. Nice quick pass, but it's out of bounds with no backup. Menendez had made the pass, and he was running uphill. Eistrat the closest to it. France gets two decent looks, and it remains 7-3 Latvia. The 6th seed leading 7th-seeded France. The winner will play tomorrow for 5th place against the winner of Germany and Czechia, which will be played later today. But the winner is also guaranteed a spot, clinching a spot in the 2027 World Lacrosse Championships in Japan. The loser will play the loser of the Germany-Czechia game for 7th, and that'll be the win and you're going to Japan game. The loser will finish 8th and not going, so there'll be great drama.
Yeah, that's going to be a big game, and almost feels like winning a championship if you win that game.
Changes the trajectory of the next 2 years for these athletes. In terms of preparation, Moen. There is a Division II World Lacrosse tournament that is being scheduled at a time and place to be determined. but that could be much. Who knows what that will look like? Slip pass to Moen from Andrew Doctor. And twirling and on the back pedal, Cam Conradi. He scored 2 goals. Now he'll take on the veteran Paul Lefay of France. Lefay will strip him. Ball to the ground, Eli Lasda will raise the stick like raising a flag. He's got it.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup. Lasda's not the tallest guy, but Christophe, falls over.
Conradi tried to set a screen on him. It was enough of a screen on the big defender, and Eli Lasda slips it through Varela. 8-3.
Yeah, nobody really picks up Lasda, and then he gets the time and the room, and it's a great shot, especially on this wet field, a bouncer, and that's just too much for Varela.
Matching the largest lead for the Latvians. 6 minutes gone, third quarter. And false start against Adrian Prefontaine. Vachapati took another shove from Prefontaine. Vachapati faced off to 66% his senior year at York University, located in Pennsylvania. Also was an offensive threat there too. And he is surpassing that percentage in these European Championships.
Yeah, now you can see some changes on the midfield for Latvia with Gudmanis and also Luch making some runs. So the actual Latvian guys who are living in Latvia.
Gudmanis turned it over. Rosenberg steers to Fury. Vachapati trying to defend Rosenberg. Rosenberg will flip the pass through for Barlow, and Barlow's hands were tied up. Play made there by Harrison Nye. And the opportunity for Doctor to clear.
Almost felt like Barlow was a little surprised by that pass because I think it was
yeah, it was Rosenberg.
Rosenberg, yeah, and he had some time, and he indicated to his teammate, get out of the way. So everybody thought he was going to dodge, and then the pass, I think it was a little surprise pass for Barlow.
On comes Eistrat. Shooting on the move, that we definitely heard. That hit the left pipe behind Varela.
Yeah, that's a ding sound we've talked about earlier.
Moen, and this is clearly wide of cage, a disputed goal or non-goal. When the score was 3-2, Latvia leading. Justin Rosenberg with a shot midway through the second quarter, and the ball went past Chris Doctor and came out. We showed you a replay. Great job by our crew and our director, Bartek Pietritsky. The ball came out. It appeared like it only hit net. This is a shot by Moen. France did not argue a whole lot, but the ball went clearly out. No one really had a conclusive answer to it. Even on our replay, hard to tell unless you super slow it down. But there was no sound. But if that had gone in and counted 3-3,
yeah,
maybe it changes the game, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, because it's definitely because Latvia went on a run with 2 or 3 goals quickly after each other, and now it's Rosenberg.
Now Rosenberg shooting off target, and as you said very correctly, Ingmar Kleinbanik, perhaps the shock after that non-goal affected the French. They were stuck on defense then for multiple possessions, and after that it quickly increased to 6-2.
Definitely, it felt like a mental punch for France there, and definitely receiving a couple of goals is just it's just very unfortunate for them.
Rosenberg, he'll try the jump shot that way, a twisting jump shot. Justin Rosenberg, for folks that are not following the European Men's Lacrosse Championships on either Instagram and Twitter. As slipping down is Menendez. And Menendez fell on his back and is shaken up. Well, it continues to be a very light drizzle. I think the players have gotten adjusted to it, but you still see the signs here on this very thin turf.
Yeah, we've been talking about it earlier in the game as well. You know, the selection of the right shoes is so important, and yeah, it's very unfortunate to see people slip, but it's even more unfortunate to see people slip and get a little hurt. That's definitely something you don't want to see. But it seems like Menendez is good now.
And Ingmar, what choice shoes or cleats would you select here?
I would go for shoes with a little nub, so it's not too flat, but not the standard cleats. You see some people or some players running with the little cleats, but I think turf shoes, which you sometimes also use in box lacrosse, are perfect for this one. But with the rain, I think every shoe is a little bit slippy here.
There isn't one that is foolproof.
No.
Basically, they can get you 100%.
Definitely. Yesterday I've seen people playing on Nike Air Max, which is just a typical sneaker. I've seen people on full-on cleats. I've seen people on tennis shoes. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah, a couple days ago, Slovakian's outstanding midfielder Griffin Schutz actually played in basically basketball sneakers. Well, driving right, Pent Eistrats. Good ball movement by the Latvians. Now 9-3.
Yeah, you see the French defender Lefebvre a little bit out of position. You know, I think he overcommitted a little bit, and that's enough for Eistrats to make a move and put it away top corner.
Pet Dijkstrat with 2 after Eli Lasda found him on the wing. Latvians' recipe for success continuing to show itself. Their lone 2 losses at the hands of England in a competitive game, 8-3, with a face-off battle was about 50-50. Low for Latvian standards with Fetchapanti. But the face-off duo of Madeley and Moreland of England were able to contain him, and it was an even game. And then the loss to Israel. And Fetchapanti facing off was also about 50-50, but that was also Israel coming in off of a day off, and the schedule went against the Latvians. They had to play yesterday at 11:30 after leaving the field following their post-game meal, probably 10:30 p.m. at best, more like 11, in bed a little before midnight on, let's see, today's Thursday, so Tuesday night. Andres Tikmanis felt, look, yeah, our legs were a little bit tired, no question about it, especially when you're facing a fresher team, as Eli Lasda had it. And unfortunately, the schedule had that slotted in.
Yeah, I think every team who had to deal with that weather delay, was a little shaken up after that day, and you can also see in the results the day after. I think every team lost their game the day after that weather delay, who had to deal with it.
You're exactly right. Scotland and Latvia, in particular, the next day.
And I think also Wales and Czechia, who
Yes.
also had a very long day. I think they only.
They both lost, right? Because
yeah.
Wales lost to Greece and Czechia the next day to Italy after their victory in overtime. Here's Fetchapanti, forced back again by Didier Fardin. Path to cage, Doctor. And a late flag coming out as Andrew Doctor was taken down after the shot.
I think that's
It's
Snyder. Yeah.
It's an elbow for a minute against Jack Snyder, a PhD from Duke University in computer science, and the younger brother of the very proud head coach Dylan Snyder. And an outside look, Varela has it. So the quick man up chance for Latvia. Christoph. And France will go across the field and search for the clear from Matt Hill, who fires all the way over the top for Lucas Geller.
going to be interesting to see here how they're going to play that man down, especially getting pressured here by Facci Ponti. Like we said earlier, kind of like a Swiss Army knife. He can do basically anything today, facing off, man up, man down. It's going to be interesting if he's going to try to get the ball away from... I think that's good there.
Menendez down into Rosenberg. He's able to keep possession, then rip a shot block. That's off the body of Nye. 20 seconds to play. Christoph tried to chip in. Who step over? And it was Christoph that stepped across. 15 seconds for Latvia on the whistle. Doctor Moen met by the check of Christoph. Lazda with 5 seconds. The trail man is Eistrot with a twirling shovel shot. That would have been a highlight had that gone in.
Definitely. Very
2
impressive.
seconds. Lazda shot that Varela makes the save on to close out the third. But after France cut it to 4, Lazda and Eistrot with his second have made it 9-3. The 6 seed Latvia leading the 7 seed France with the winner clinching a spot in the 2027 World Lacrosse Championship in Japan. Nine to 3, start of the fourth quarter. With Ingmar Klimbanik, Ralph Bednarczyk joining you on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. Latvia is 15 minutes away from clinching a spot in the 2027 World Championships in Japan in 2 years. James Moens, or Moen with no S in the American way to spell it, as he takes behind. That's always interesting, how to choose how to spell it, or how to say names that have been Americanized. But I've been going with the very ethnic way, Ingmar Klimbanik.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the correct way.
Yeah.
Really, the answer to the question is, how would Grandma say the name, and then that determines how to say it, in my opinion.
Exactly. Yeah, I think everybody's doing a great job trying, and also we got the pronunciations from the team. So, we're trying to make everybody proud. Hearing their name called out.
Yep, and very accurate. Fourth quarter begins with a possession again for the Latvians after another face-off win. Eli Lazda from the restraining box. Easy save, stick side high against Varela.
Yeah, you're not going to surprise Varela with that. I've seen a couple of goals, where they're shooting low, and that seemed to work, especially with this field. It's wet, and it makes the ball, pick up some speed when it hits the ground.
Rhodes And he'll skip it here for Rosenberg. And into the box comes France. So if you're Dylan Snyder here, Ingmar, I mean, what's the approach? Your possessions have been extremely precious. What's the approach here for the fourth?
I think you don't have any other choice than just go full 100%. Try to make something out of this game. Like you said, the winner advances to Japan, so everything to play for. And I think none of these players is just not going to try. You just want to try to get something off that lead from Latvia, and just see what they will give you.
And the other aspect, Ingmar, I think you saw France probably early in this tournament, right? First 2 to 3 games is Geller. Gives it up, Barlow, shot missed. Gabriel Fury is clearly not 100% as he is trying to labor through an ankle or a foot injury. And number 9 in white is a high-quality player for the French as the other midfielder that gives France one of the best midfields in this tournament. There on the sneak from behind is Menendez, 9-4.
Yeah, that's an excellent pass. It was the feed from Sasson Lewis.
Yep,
yeah.
It was number 4, Sasson Lawless on the dish.
Sorry, yeah. And excellent finish from Menendez there. And yeah, like you said, Gabriel Fury has been not 100% this game, and earlier in this tournament, we've seen some big plays from him, and also number 0, Justin Rosenberg, and they were really, making the plays from the midfield.
Facciapati, look out for France. Vinny Facciapati puts a stop to that momentum and then takes a belly flop on the wet turf. 10-4.
Let's see if the replay is also gonna.
Yeah, we didn't quite see it there, but perhaps Andres Dickmanis and staff, Steve McTeague and Coach Riccardi, holding their breath every time Facciapati goes down to the turf. They need to get 5 more quarters out of him.
Yeah.
This time, Giacoto had it at his feet, chipped by Giacoto, and here is a face-off win for France. Good work by Remy Giacoto, along with his D-Midi and Gabriel Fardin working as a 3-on-3 unit.
Yeah, absolutely crucial if they want to make anything out of this game. Like we said before, still 10 minutes to play. Lacrosse is a fast game, and if they can connect some passes and some shots here, maybe something they can go on a run, especially with Rosenberg and Sasson Lawless.
Menendez has looked fresh this game. Slipping and sliding, Gutmanis is trying to be the D-Midi. Rosenberg looks like he has special shoes because he has stayed fast on this wet turf. Rosenberg back to the jump shots, and Chris Doctor, he has done his job today. He's given up 4. Yes, he's played not a lot of defense, but he has not given up any softies. But a failed clear, or Menendez rushing loses the ball.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of the weather becoming a factor, or basically is a factor all game already. Just that stick is a little bit slippy. The mesh is a little bit wet, and you'll see that with that pickup.
Feed for Doctor, and he'll go across. Danofskis will drop it in nicely for Moen. Under 9 minutes left.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a very, very patient Latvian offense here. They don't need to go to the goal. They just want to contain this lead, 6-goal lead. And that's the perfect spot they want to be in during this time of the game.
Conradi leaves for Moen. Austin Bloomberg's was the leading scorer, has been the leading scorer for Latvia. He did miss a game. He missed the England game, or at least only played part-time in that, as Bowen looked to throw it back door. But Austin Bloomberg's also a primo player, an active player in the National Lacrosse League, Pro Indoor League. And impressive that the Latvians have been able to do that without needing a significant game from him.
Yeah, this just shows the depth of this Latvian roster. They have multiple goal scorers and also multiple key players who can make that offense work. And they're just not. They just don't rely on one guy or one player.
Geller. Sasson Lawless. Camrati, a difficult guy to dodge against. Feed for Barlow, just out of his reach. Donovskis to pick up, and here comes Eistrat. Pent Eistrat with a 4-on-3. Lazda asking for it, gets it. Down low it comes, Bloomberg's, and that hit the pipe.
That definitely hit the pipe, yeah.
Bloomberg's was beginning the celebration. There's an example of how the ball, just going back to earlier here, Ingmar, how the ball bounces off when it is pipe.
Yeah, and also you saw the speed coming off that pipe.
6:35 to play. Latvia putting on the finishing touches of a chance to play for 5th place tomorrow against the winner of the game between Germany and Czechia. That'll be the second meeting between the two in several days. The first one went to the Germans 11-9. Germany had that game mostly in hand. It was something like maybe 11-6, 11-5. Germany started committing fouls. Czechia on the man up. Box player, box player, box player, goal, goal, goal. Multiple man ups, made it 11-9 with chances late. Oh, coming out in front with the goal to add to it is P.T. Tierney, 11-4.
That's an impressive individual dodge there from him, coming from X. And he's still happy. Although the lead is 7, he's still very happy with that goal. And I think for him it will feel this will seal the deal for Latvia going through.
AKA Poles Tomas Tiernis, or P.T. Tierney. 11-4 is the score, but that'll be a fascinating game between the 4-seed Germany and 8th-seeded Czechia in their second meeting. That game, I think, also was played in probably better conditions, actually, I think, the other day. But Czechia ran out of time to try to pressure Germany. It was an 11-9 finish. We've had just a couple of rematches so far, as now slipping down was Gutmanis. Here on the ground ball pickup is David Lukes. He's really improved, a native who's played 4 years of lacrosse as number 5. But he is one of the poster boys for what Latvia lacrosse is trying to do, both for head coach Gretchen Lazda on the women's side and Andris Dikmanis here on the men's side, to try to find native Latvians that pick up the sport and grow within the national team and learn from these North Americans and players with first-generation heritage from places like Canada and the U.S. Timeout on the field with 4:36 to play, 11-3 Latvia. So if it's against the Germans, it'll be a fascinating face-off matchup to see how the Germans will try to solve that, or against Czechia and Thachapati, how he will try to prevent Czechia from getting into an offensive rhythm where the Czechs are known to be able to explode for a lot of goals in bunches.
Yeah, and right coming into this game, beforehand we talked about the goalie change, and I think in this game I think it's Doctors who's
Chris Doctor,
yeah, and I think he played an excellent game today, and really showing he could fill those shoes from Richter's.
Yeah, Chris Doctor at Alfred University. He is a righty goalie, and the other goalie that is also available, and Daniel Luke is a lefty. and he played just a minute against England after Ryan Richters had picked up a penalty. So that's what led to that, and it was a competitive game. So Daniel Luke had to play legitimate minutes in an 8-3 final.
Yeah, yeah. It's also a very good game, highly contested, and I think Luch also did a great job there, filling in for Richters.
David Luke for Moen. Doctor will back it up in Latvia in no rush and with the conditions, but I don't know if Andrew Doctor tried a bounce pass intentionally for David Luke's, but that bounce pass, if it was, got away either from his stick, or it skidded very quickly in another direction.
Yeah, bounce pass in these conditions is going to be very tough, and you see everyone almost now slipping and sliding everywhere.
Also, we see Renards Audzi for Latvia on. Another native Latvian that they have high hopes for. Very athletic, short stick D-mini with a growing offensive game. Able to crow hop his way all the way near the high crease. Emil Sasson Lawless to make it 11-5. So that ends a 5-goal run by Latvia.
Yeah, he didn't really get picked up there. He had all the, space, and was firstly, did a little fake twirl and with a stick, and he had a good shot. Bouncer went in.
Fatchapanti, maybe the last face-off of the game, and then he rips it, winning the clamp from Prefontaine. What makes Fatchapanti to you, Ingmar? I know you weren't a face-off guy, but what makes him to you so difficult to deal with and to even make the face-off competitive? There are virtually no scrums 3-on-3.
Yeah, I think it has two factors. He's very strong. He's almost looks like a wrestler instead of a lacrosse player, and he's also pretty fast. So he has a clamp, and he's fast. He's fast enough for every face-off guy to make it a challenge. Combined with the strength he has, and actually the third factor, which also comes into place, is he also has stick skills. He's playing offense. He's playing man up. He's playing, the offense in a regular way. So I think stick skills, the strength, and the quickness on the hands makes him so hard to beat on the X.
That's a great point, Ingmar. We have not seen Vinny Fatchapanti turn it over after all these face-off wins. A low turnover player, just like a basketball guard, a basketball point guard. Face-off win to turnover ratio. If there was a new stat we needed to add,
definitely,
that would be one.
Yeah, because even if it comes out and he doesn't win it straight for himself, he still makes it a battle, which he comes out of as a winner most of the times.
Stall warning in effect. Fatchapanti is able to exhale. And France trying to look ahead perhaps for the next battle, which would be on Saturday after a day off against the loser of Germany and Czechia, which will be a showcase game in the middle of the afternoon before the gold medal game, because that is a do-or-die game, go to Japan or not. Lazda shot, and the save is made by the new France goalie and Quentin Richer. Richer is now in for the last couple of minutes, young 20-year-old. 11-5, now with another flag down, and this looks like it's offsides. Going to be the call against the Latvians, and we'll have a late man up here for the French. So for Coach Andres Strikmanis, Ingmar of Latvia, you don't have Ryan Richters. What do you think is going to satisfy him the most from this victory?
I think, like I said before, the performance by Doctors in goal, I think that's the most satisfying. But also seeing him, Fatchapanti taking so many face-off and being decisive once more is, I think, very satisfying for him.
Shot from Paul Lefay, but there's no backup. And Chris Doctor will have a chance to start one final clear and the native from the Rochester area of New York. In college, in his career, primarily just a one-year starter at that time, but he's taking advantage. 28 career games, just 5 starts. But he steps into a big moment for the Latvians, and he helps them pull through. Latvia will definitely be in Japan in 2027. They'll play for 5th place tomorrow against the winner of Germany and Czechia. Latvia celebrates a guaranteed top 5 finish and a trip in a couple of years to the World Championships. 11-5, the clinching win over France today, the 7 seed.
Yeah, this is a very, very exciting opportunity for Latvia to go to the World Championships. Great performance by them, even with their important goalie out, still coming up with the win. Very impressive by the Latvian team. France just didn't have the strength to convert a couple of these high dodges from the midfield into goals, and also strong performance by Christoph Dokters in goal.
Cam Conradi with 2 goals, Pent Eistrat with 3. The leaders for Latvia offensively, Vinny Faciapanti, again, at least 90% facing off. And for France, out of the 5 goals, a good day from Lucas Menendez, who finished with 2. That's the story from here. 11-5 is our final. 6-seeded Latvia clinches a top 5 spot, defeating 7-seeded France. And now France will play on Saturday afternoon for 7th place against the loser of the Germany-Czechia game, which will get started in about 45 minutes from Wroclaw. For my partner, Ingmar Klimbanik, a pleasure. My name is Ralph Pinarchik saying so long and goodbye. You've been watching the Men's European Lacrosse Championships from World Lacrosse TV and Lax TV.
Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really, really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick. Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse. We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
I'm here with number 30, Chris Doctors from Latvia after defeating France 11-4. Chris, you're not the starting goalie. You had to step up today. You were told 15 minutes before the game that you were going to be going in. How'd that happen, and how did it make you feel?
Well, I was ready, prepared. It sucks that we didn't have number 7 today, but everyone's got to be ready to step up. Next man up.
And you guys are going to Japan.
Yeah.
How's that? Are you excited?
Yeah, we're excited. We're going to Japan. See the guys?
You guys are going to Japan? And that's Team Latvia after securing their spot to go to Worlds in Japan at the European Men's Lacrosse Championships 2025 in Wroclaw.
Thank you.